Hello. This your boy Noble from the Knowledge Show, and I'm back at you, trying to give you some more input on the show that happened last night and what we was talking about. It was a great show. We touched on the subject of child molestation in the black community, rape in the black community. This crime happens a lot. It's been happening for 30, 40 years, and it still happens. But for some reason, the black community never talks about it. We don't talk about it, man. Especially females. If it happened to them, they try to block it out their mind, or they don't want to go to anybody because it's a family member, or they might feel embarrassed. It's all kind of scenarios that they don't talk about this in the black community. Now, I don't know about any other community. I'm black, so I'm talking about the black community, how I came up. And what made me think of this topic that was on the show last night, every Wednesday, 5 to 8 p.m., South99radio.com. Because I was thinking one day, I said, man, every woman I met, at least 95 to 98, I'm going to say almost every woman I met, it's a high percentage. They either been molested as a child, they either was raped, or they was touched in some kind of way that they definitely didn't want. And this goes for many, I'm talking about every woman I met. So if it's every woman I met, then I ask friends I know. Matter of fact, a woman called the show that my co-host DJ Ackright knew, and she said it happened to her. Now I don't know if he knew about it or not, but it goes to show you, it's like every black woman you run into, this has happened to in the past. But we don't talk about it. We don't tell anybody, and most important, we don't get help. Now the reason I say that's more important, because think about this. That affects you psychologically, whether you know it or not. It's all kind of ways it can affect you, and if it affects you, it's going to trickle down to your children. So this been going on since I was young, and it's been going on since my parents was young. When you talk to people older than me, it's been going on. This something that's been plaguing the black community for a long time, but it's never talked about. It's forgotten about. Or, so let's think. Okay, if somebody touched you or molested you when you was young, or even raped you, whatever, and you ain't get no help and you ain't tell nobody, and it mentally messes you up, then you have kids. Okay, that's going to trickle down to them. Now, what made this subject way more important is the black community, we have a lot of problems. Could this be a factor of the problem? Because it's like this, not the main factor, but this can be a factor, because it's like a domino effect. Okay, if something happened to me as a child and it affects me, but I don't get help, or I don't talk to anybody about it, and it's just built up inside, and as I grow up, I have relationships, and it's affecting the relationships. I have children, it's affecting the children, because either all kind of ways. I'm either overprotective, or maybe some other people become child molesters. They become pedophiles themselves because it happened to them. It's all kind of ways, and it trickles down. So since it trickles down to the children, now the children acting up, this could be an important factor of the black communities, the high crime black communities, of children is getting into high crime, or they going through something. This could be an important factor, because when I tell you most, and when I mean most, I mean a highly high percentage of most cases, black community don't talk about it, and it don't get reported. They could be scared, they could be embarrassed. It's no reason. It's not their fault, but nobody's talking about it. And that was the subject last night. And it's important. Now, we have good topics on my show. Now, surprisingly, it wasn't a topic with Buku. With Buku in New Orleans, it means a lot. With a lot of callers, it wasn't a topic, whatever. It's not surprising. because black folks don't like to talk about this. Now, why wouldn't it have many callers as the rest of the days of the shows? Because you would think callers would be calling and the phones would be so busy because it happens so much in the black community. Almost everybody was touched. Almost. Females especially. But nobody talks about it. It gets swept underneath the rug. They don't want to bring it up. Could this be affecting the way in the black community the kids been raised? Could these be? It's more than that. Trust me, that's not the main. But could that be a major factor? Could that be a factor, man? You gotta really think about that. Really think about the message in that. You have to really, really, really understand where I'm coming from. Could that be a factor? Okay, if you got 10 women that live in the same community, and these 10 women was touched and they didn't get any help, and they having children and they have baby daddies, maybe it's a reason why the relationships never work. You never know. So you have baby daddies and you have children, and some of that anger is being taken out on the children, and that trickles up, and the children get raised with this anger and with this. You never know. Could this be a factor in the black community? I think it is. And I grew up in the hood. I grew up what you want to call the hood. I mean, I wasn't dirt poor. We wasn't dirt poor. At one time we was. Not all my childhood life, but at one time we was. Now, if every female I ran across, I'm talking about everyone, man. I'm trying to think if it's one not. I don't want to say 100%. But everybody, they was touched as a youngster. Molested, raped. Now, recently, I can't mention his name, it's a minor. It was another case where this minor was caught on Instagram having sex with 3 or 4 boys. You know, she wasn't being raped. She wanted to, but yes, she was a minor. 12 years old, she was a minor. The boys was minors too, except one. He was considered a man. Okay? So, he was considered a man. So, now, come to find out, when she opened up, she was molested as a 6-year-old, 7-year-old, and pretty much throughout her life, either by the same person or different people. So she say, allegedly. So, come on. Is this girl gonna be messed up? Is she getting help right now? We don't know. But it's something. And right now, you might want to grab your children and really talk to them and ask them some stuff, especially if they're up in age. Because it might have happened to them, and that's your children. Males too, not just females. You might want to, because I can't express how much it happens in the black community, but we do not talk about this. You know why we don't talk about it? Because when you hear molestation, you think of white. A lot of people think it's just in the white community. No, it's not. It's in the black community too. I don't know if you see it as rape. I don't know how you see it, but let's be honest. It happens in the black community too. I mean, I'm just going by how I grew up and the people I met and the people around me and the people they know. So I'm guessing we just can't, come on. And then when you look at the statistics, it's kind of big, but it's more than that. What was the topic about yesterday? The topic was something else, but we drifted off into that. And it was a good conversation, and the people that was listening got something out of it. You even had people trying to confess about what happened to them. They never talked about it before. They never had that window, thinking they're going to be judged or just scared or embarrassed. But if it happened to you, you have to get help and you have to talk about it. Because if you don't, it could trickle down and affect the people in the future or the people around you. If you care, whether you care or not. Some people don't care, but it could. It could be the reason why your relationships never last. You can't stick with one man or woman in no longer than a year or two. Could be the reason you're overprotective of your kids. It could be the reason you beat the hell out your kids, abuse them. It could be a reason you're not sociable anymore and you can't get along with people. It could be any of these reasons. That's why you got to get help. That's why you have to get help. And that was the topic yesterday, and that's a good topic. I mean, I think it should be brought up more. And I had made a statement. It probably wasn't funny to most, but it wasn't funny, but it's real. It wasn't meant to be funny. You know, you hear all these sayings, well, back in the days, the community watched over everyone. The community did this. The community raised the children. This is what you hear. I mean, you always hear this. But then when you look back and you talk to everybody from that community that been molested and touched, you was like, okay, it's sort of like the uncle that paid your way through college but raped you at the same time. So the community was watching the children, but also the community was molesting the children at a rapid rate. Nobody wants to talk about that. And that's another subject. Us as black folks, we got to stop trying to hide the things black folks do. Because if you want to clean up the communities and gain respect, well, don't gain respect. Respect yourself. And learn to respect yourself, you have to do it from within. So you have to weed out the mess. And if you're not willing to weed out the mess, then you'll just keep turning in circles. Because there's always going to be that few that's going to knock you back. Well, that's all I have to say. This is Noble from the Knowledge Show. And I thank you for listening to another one. And keep listening, because I would love to get everybody's opinion and participation so we get to the bottom of these subjects. One love.